Hey everybody, it's me, deogenz, here with another edition of Pokemon of the Week. This week, we're going to take a look at one of the roughest, toughest, most fighting Pokemon that is perfect for UU in all of Unova region. It's Scrafty! Scrafty is spectacular in UU because of its resistances and its dual stab nature, combining Drain Punch and Crunch into one potent little type combo. Sure, you may assume by its mere appearance that it's not a potent poke, what with it having to readjust its draws every so often just so it doesn't have an embarrassing battle moment. But trust me, when you max out its attack, max out its speed, you will see what a demon this thing can be in UU, because although the highest attributes, as you can probably tell, are defense and special defense, this rare combination of fighting dark is something that you don't want to forego with not attacking. You can do a bulkier set, which we'll get to in a minute, but I like this combination here because my strategy personally is hit them hard, hit them fast, and don't let them sit. What you really want to do is switch out on a move where Scrafty will be completely unaffected, maybe something like a ghost type move or a psychic type move where it's barely hurt or not at all, then use a Dragon Dance, and that will boost not only your attack, but your speed. And then from there, it won't really matter that you have a base speed of 58. And from people who have readily and rapidly versed a Scrafty often, they tell me that it can outspeed most things, just with a jolly nature and no investments into effort values. I can't personally confirm this, but it's an interesting thing to consider. In the spirit of continually boosting your Scrafty throughout the match, you would need one Dragon Dance to get an entire sweep set up. That's what Scrafty does. He's a sweeper king. Because he has access to Dragon Dance, because he can make himself faster and stronger, but also because he has the ability Moxie. Moxie is one of my favorite 5th gen abilities, where if you defeat an opponent, you gain an additional boost to your physical attack. How fantastic! It's a repeating feedback loop, so if you win, you're going to probably win more because you're getting boosted even further. The only possible feasible alternative for this ability would be Shed Skin, which every turn it has a third chance of relinquishing a status ailment. So that could be very beneficial if they try to deball your Scrafty by paralyzing or putting it to sleep. This way the sweep is concluded. If they are successful in putting a roadblock in front of your Scrafty and you don't have Shed Skin, you may want to be careful. It doesn't have that much health, and although its defenses are great, you still don't want to waste all that stat boosting to some super effective move. So if you see that coming, probably retract your Scrafty, and then try the tactic again, because it can be repeated with a move that isn't going to affect Scrafty. Switch in on that, and then once again, do your Dragon Dance. Another awesome thing about this poke is its moves and its abilities combined. So now that you've got your abilities to maximize your physical attack, it will be doing tons of damage and also giving Scrafty back some health. So with Life Orb, it's a repeatable item instead of something that will eventually kill you. Drain Punch combination is excellent. It's fighting, so it's a stab, and Crunch would be its other stab. And Crunch also has the potential to lower your opponent's defense, which is perfect since you need to punch down that part of the poke, being that this is all physical that we're seeing here. Zen Headbutt was a nice little addition that I didn't know it could learn, but I highly suggest it. And it can learn all the elemental punches, or a high jump kick instead of Drain Punch, which that's for the more riskier of you out there. I will admit, I don't like using high jump kick, because if the attack misses, the poke still keeps going with that high jump kick and injures itself. Now, if it does successfully land the move, it's a 130 base fighting type set of damage, and that's spectacular. But you won't be getting any health back for it, and you could end up hurting yourself in the process, so it's all things to take into your training with you. And speaking of training, trainers that really contribute to this show have given us one of the best Scrafties I've seen in a while. This has been contributed by Badassxscrafty himself, and it is what he dependably uses in metagame always. So, finally, we have something that's very well tested. I always like to get your set suggestions, but I always much prefer if you've used the poke before, often in your metagame matches. So this would be Badassxscrafty's special defensive variant set, where he is still maxing out his attack, and instead of maxing out speed, he goes all investment into special defense. Now personally, if it was me, I would put special defense and defense chopped in half with the remaining EVs that you have. And if you're watching this show, it's my personal recommendation that will give you more balance, just because you don't know if you're going to be hit with a physical or special move. And your defense and special defense are balanced. They're both equally awesome at 115 base. But with your remaining EVs, I think it just makes more sense to spread it evenly. The reasoning he gave for not investing anything into speed is that with a jolly-natured Scrafty, he was able to outspeed most everything in the tier except an Electrode. And Electrode is one of the fastest pokes, just an FYI for you. So I found that fascinating, and again, I can't confirm that myself, but maybe those of you who have played with this poke can, so comment below. The moveset stays about the same except for the addition of Substitute, which I would also like to point out. It not only knows the elemental punches, but it knows the punch of Focus, which is fantastic for a subset. What you do is you switch out on one of the moves that won't affect you, like a Psychic or, even another Dark-type move, because it's naturally bulky. It won't be damaged that much. Use your sub, use a Dragon Dance, and while your sub's still established, this is why you need your EVs spread equally amongst your physical and special defense, in my opinion. But with your sub up, you can set up a Focus Punch, which normally seems like a move that's suicide if you've got nothing in the way between you and your opponent. Because all they have to do is slightly disturb you. All they have to do is simply a wake-up slap, anything, to disrupt your focus and that powerful 150 fighting type damage punch. So behind a sub, it's the perfect setup for a Focus Punch. However, if you do not want to be disabled in the fighting type realm, which makes sense because if you can't set up a sub anymore, you have not enough health and you don't have Drain Punch to recover it, then what can you do? Then High Jump Kick could possibly be your move. But again, that's the cool thing about Drain Punch is you keep resetting yourself up for awesome. You keep making substitutions available, and you keep having Life Orb not really affect you because guess what? I get all that health back over the course of this match. So that's why, in my opinion, Scrafty is one of the mightiest pokes of UU. And I hope you agree. Let me know your opinions below in the comments section, and always remember to subscribe to Planet Poke, because this is an awesome YouTube channel. You know it is. So much Pokemon content. Stuff of X and Y is going to be coming out the wazoo in a short time. In fact, the next Pokemon of the week is going to be of the 6th gen because we have more information now. We know base stats. We know which moves Pokemon will learn. So this channel's always growing, and we would love for you to grow alongside with us. I'm deogenz, and I will see you next week.